Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. This is Fishing Vlog number 199. It is also the first video for the year, and also the last video before I do the full reveal of all my aquariums for video 200, which is part of the reason why I'm focusing on this one aquarium, and there are other reasons, which I'll get to in a minute. But before I get to all that, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Hopefully you had a wonderful holiday season, got it to spend with friends and family and everything. I certainly did. My entire family was here, and my daughter was in town as well, so I had a great time visiting with everybody, and, well, now it's time to get back to work. Well, not quite work yet. I don't have to do that until Monday morning, but at least as far as getting some work done in the fish room, which got a little bit neglected because, visiting and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, back to the video. The reason why I'm focusing on this tank, well, there's an awful lot of stuff going on in the fish room. A lot of things I managed to get done before the holiday season, got things cleaned up quite a bit. And the other reason is this has finally happened. I have a guppy fry only aquarium. The only fish in this tank, of course, are guppy fry. And, well, there are other stuff, of course, like shrimp and snails. But I wanted to do this not so much to raise a lot more guppies, but it does in some ways result in that, because if I have a colony of guppies, depending upon the colony, of course, they'll get anywhere between 50 to 80% predation on the fry, which was fine in the sense that at least the healthiest and biggest and whatever will grow up, which is fine. But I wanted to do this initially because I wanted to start doing some growth experiments for different types of feeding. Now, these guys have been raised exclusively initially on my paramecium cultures. Well, there's also cyclopses and other stuff in there, but as far as it goes, it was that form of live food. And then I wanted to set up one where I was raising them on brine shrimp, and of course transitioning all of that to finely ground up flake food. Unfortunately, there's been a problem with that, and that is I can't get brine shrimp eggs here. I ordered some when was it now? Back in October, I think it was. And initially it was, they'll ship sometime. It was second or third week in December. And I said, well, that's an awful big delay. But anyway, they're going to get here. But, well, it's now January, and they haven't shown up yet. So I'm going to check on that, see what's going on. But that has always been a problem for brine shrimp eggs up here, and they're just not available. I have a few left, enough to do probably about 4 or 5 hatchings, maybe a bit more. And I want to save those because I have some experiments coming up involving either zebra danio fry being raised or white cloud fry being raised. I haven't decided, maybe both, we will see. And I have just enough left to compare, first off, starting off with the live food for the paramecium cultures, and then also I am going to finally, Don, get on to testing out the golden pearls that you sent me and compare those two. I mean, guppy fry are a bit too big for that, in theory, I suppose. But anyway, I wanted to save all that stuff for, the danios or the white clouds. So I have enough of that to run that experiment at least once. And then, of course, I guess I'm going to be on to just using paramecium cultures and ground up fish flake food. So that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I haven't had any issues with this tank as far as the fry growing up. As you can see, they're healthy, they're fine, and they're swimming around. I wasn't expecting anything to go wrong with it. It's just, we'll see how they grow out. And that'll of course, take some months. Now, the other thing about this aquarium that is different than a bunch of the other ones, especially the one to the right, I have been converting back to using a lot more Java moss. Some water tang is fine. It grows well. Something about it, I can't put my finger on it. It might be something to do with the chemistry of the aquarium or how the fish are with it. The killies that you can see over there are perfectly fine with it. But every now and then I have a tank that ends up with a few issues, and it might have something to do with that. So I wanted to set up some that are just Java Moss only. Well, Java Fern, and as you can see, Hornwort too. But I wanted to get away from the subwasser tang in at least half a dozen of my aquariums, just to see if there's any kind of consistency with that sort of problem. Again, one of these things is going to take forever to figure out, but like I said, it was something that been nagging me in the back of my head for a little while, and yeah, I also like the look of Java Moss. It's nice, and it and Java Fern get together really well, and I haven't had any issues with it or with Hornwort or Vallisneria or any of the other stuff. It's just when it comes to mixing subwasser tang with Java Moss, Java Moss does not compete well. There's some allelopathy going on there where the Java Moss eventually gets choked out, but who knows the exact reason for it. Anyway, I'm going to set that sort of stuff up long term. We'll see how that turns out. So yeah, as far as my next video goes, I may do, there's a build I want to do. There's some other interesting things I want to do as far as filtration. I haven't built a lot of filters in a little while. I want to get back to doing a little bit of that. Because, well, now that I have all the tanks cleaned out, not much of a spoiler, I did actually manage to get that far. I want to change up a little how I'm doing some of the filters. The ones here, like on the top row, I am definitely going to stick with either a box filter or an underground filter going to the high humidity planters. I like that. It works well. I have more than enough accessibility in that sort of situation that I don't have any problems getting into them. I may change a little bit on the way of the configurations of the high humidity planters so they're a little bit easier to get at. But I don't really care for the smaller versions I've made. They're not big enough. They work. They do something. Just not enough. I like the ones that are almost tank wide. So I think I'm going to continue with that. So I have a few of those sorts of things coming up. And all the box filters have been moved to the lower racks where accessibility is not as easy. And there are some other things I want to do with that as well. But we'll get to it this year. You know how it is, lots of work. I will figure it all out and, try and keep you guys up with as much stuff as I can of what I'm going and doing. So there you go. Thank you very much. Leave comments. If you have any ideas for various things you'd like to see, leave a comment and let me know about that. Otherwise, I wish you all a very good new year. Hopefully everything goes well and things are at least interesting in your fish rooms. Anyway, thanks very much. I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.